Hey, Kenya, thank you so much for joining this call today. I know you are super busy because you have
Yeah,
a day job and you also just started a group home not too long ago. So
yeah.
I want to hear all about it. So first of all, tell me like where you are in the country, what made you want to get into group homes in the first place. Just give me like a background.
Thank you for having me. I feel like over the time that we've been, mentoring and just going back and forth, that you've been a very positive influence on everything that I'm doing, including
Aw.
the mentor or the group home. So you've been mentoring me in more ways than one. So I do appreciate that. But I'm currently in Maryland and I decided to get into the group homes because I've been in real estate for a while. I understand real estate. It's like a passion of mine, but I also understand too that at this time it's shifting and I wanted to go towards something that was my ultimate goal, which is to have a nursing home, to be an owner and an operator of a nursing home. And I felt like once I heard of this model that it just made sense for me to do because I am still working full time. I still do have a lot of things going on. I'm a very, very busy person. So I knew that doing a group home wouldn't take all of my time and effort every single day as
Mhm.
if I were to do assisted living where I'd have to get staff. And if somebody doesn't show up, then I need to go and, those type of things. So I could give my time and effort to that later on in life. But currently, I think the group home style that you have offered was the best for me at the time.
Okay, good. And so when did you actually open your group home?
So, well, very recently, everything moves so fast. So I got the keys on June 30th. Today it's August 18th. So we were
Wow.
officially open and operating by the 10th of July.
Wow. And let's back. When did you start taking the group home on Autopilot coaching course? Because that's a 6-week course. And when did you start that course? I'd have to go back and look at my calendar. When I know that you
No, I think it
got
was
the keys though.
in June.
Was it June? And then you got the keys like in July.
Yes,
That's pretty fast.
very fast. I mean,
Yeah.
everything just like from the time that we first spoke to the time I got the keys.
So did you buy the house or did you rent the house?
So I subleased the house as soon as I started to have the conversation with you. I essentially was like, look, let me just start reaching out. Let me just go on Zillow. What I did was I went on Zillow and I decided to search for homes that were 180 days, up to 180 days on Zillow, either
Ooh.
renting or on sale. And then
Okay.
I did that. I guess you can say I try to identify a distressed seller. So they probably couldn't find a buyer, whatever the reason is. So I thought if they're selling or they tried to sell and they couldn't find anybody to buy the house, this might be a good home to at least propose the offer of, hey, maybe you should try something different, like maybe running a business. I can run the business and you'll get your cut every month, which is
Right.
that I'll pay. So I ended up subleasing a property that was on the market maybe 60 days. I think it was on 60 days. And they had about 50 contracts. And I got a call. I did it that Friday. I got a call that next Monday asking if I would like to come and see the property. He's like, hey, you had the best application out of everyone. All I did was I took the script that you gave me. I kind of added a few things.
Mhm.
And I just said, you know what? Let me just do it. So I just reached
Wow.
like 30 people and like a good 15 of them messaged me back. I went on a lot of walkthroughs. I was very busy at the time. And It just so happens that the very first house that I walked through was the very first house that gave me the offer. And it was the best house, honestly, because it had 7 bedrooms. And
7 bedrooms. Okay, so that's a moneymaker. That's awesome.
You don't even really have to sit down and do too much math.
No, you don't even have to do the math to see the return on investment. When you have a 7 bedroom house and you're doing co-living.
Yeah.
Yep. So before you started working with me, had you done any other training to learn about how to do a group home?
No, I did what most people did, which is YouTube University. I just thought of things. I listened to conversations. I listened to the buzzwords that they had, and I just started researching. The part that was making it a little complicated for me was the script for, reaching out to the buyers and trying to, to the sellers and trying to get them to get the buy-in on this particular set of, business rules. It's not always the most that makes sense kind of thing. Some people are like, there's no way you can do that legally. You have to have things. You have to have this. You have to have that. So that was the first thing. The second thing was just the small little nuances that come along the way. It's just good to have another person to be like, oh, this is what I did. You can choose to do it this way, but this is what I chose to do. So I think that was the second thing, just have an accountability partner.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for me, one of the big things that I had to overcome was unlicensed does not equal illegal.
Right.
I was like, ooh, unlicensed, that doesn't sound right. It made me think it was illegal, but it's not illegal. Unlicensed just means you don't have to have a license to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
What would you tell somebody who's thinking about getting into group homes or considering taking, for example, my coaching program?
So I would say the coaching program is the perfect place to start, because someone who has never even heard of the concept of the group homes, doesn't even understand the slightest bit of how it works, they would excel because they would know, hey, she gave me a checklist from A to Z. We talked through each and every one of the parts. So whatever your learning style is, I think that you're good at adjusting to whatever the needs of the person is. Because I'm a fast burner. So, our sessions were all over the place. I'm like, the checklist is great, but
jump to this. Yeah, with yours, it was like, okay, we have module 1 through module 6. Module 1, we're going to focus on this. You're like, okay, but what about the marketing? But what about what about getting the house?
Oh, we're on 1, but can we get to 4?
Right. Can we go, right. So we go to 4. Exactly.
So I think it depending on, everyone learns differently, but I think every learning style can definitely come into the mentorship and excel regardless of how it is that works for them.
Right. Can you share any kind of like a proud moment during the course or just during your journey, from A to Z, getting your keys, getting your home open, any kind of proud moment or breakthrough moment that you experienced in this whole journey?
So that's actually a really good question, because I shared this with you. I didn't necessarily feel intimidated speaking to people about properties. I just didn't know exactly what to say, because I know these people are business owners, so they want to hear a certain thing, and I didn't want to mess up my chances. So I would say that part for me was very easy. The hard part for me was actually speaking to the social workers. I was not sure what that looked like, how that interactions would go. I'm not from the area where my house is at. So I'm going into a community that has no idea who I am. And I was like, well, maybe they're going to reject me when they figure out I'm not even a part of them. So how I just must be someone who's there for, the money or this or that. I just was not sure how that was going to go. So my biggest breakthrough moment was when I was driving from the property back to my house, and I had signed, I think 3 or 4 leases in that one day.
Wow.
And I was so like just taken aback from it, like, whoa. And one day I signed 3 leases and I wasn't even open for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And it was just so surreal for me, because it wasn't just about me in that moment. It was also about me helping to change the trajectory of these 3 other individuals' lives.
Right.
And just to be a part of that in such a big way, I think just hit me. I literally was just driving. I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, I did it. I made a difference.
Another one was when, I probably got to day 4 or 5 and my phone just could not stop ringing. It's like my phone was just ringing and ringing and ringing.
Yeah.
And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm grateful for this. So I think those are my 2 moments.
How did you get your phone to ring like that? What kind of marketing did you do? You don't have to go into all your details and your secrets, but just like, what did you do?
So I'm administrative at the core of me. So to me, like sending emails, mass emails is something that I'm used to. So that's what I did. I teed up about 20 emails, different topics on the emails. And then I think it was 5 topics. And then I would follow up with another email on those 5 topics, and then another 5 topics and follow up on those 5 emails. And I started the conversation not with like, hey, my house is open, come and bring your people. It was more so like, let's build a relationship. Let's try to, have a conversation. And I think that was what brought the organizations to my business, because once I started to step back and I started to look at different things in my area, I started realizing there's a lot of other people doing the same thing as me, but mine is at the top of each and every one of these organizations' list, and I haven't even been there a quarter of the time.
Right.
Other places have. And I think it's just the way that the business is laid out, the way that I present myself, and then also the communication. I'm consistently communicating, and I have a very quick time response back to people. So I think that is a part of the marketing. My niece, she's the head. She's 19, so it's like perfect for the social media managing part of it. So made a TikTok, an Instagram, a YouTube, and just started posting.
Yes, I love it. Okay, tell us about the coaching experience. And this is weird for me because I'm the coach. Like, tell us about, how was it working with Katrina? Was it scary? Like, what was it like?
I think it was exactly what I needed. Again, you were the type of person where if I needed to go a little slower and I needed 2 weeks in between our sessions or 3 weeks in between our sessions, you were willing to do that. But I was the type of person where I wanted every week that we're looking at things, that we're creating a list and we're checking those things off. And every week I was getting them done. And so I learned as time went on that our dynamic wasn't just like, we like each other, but also in the same sense where we built that trust with one another. So I think the course in itself is great, just the information that you provide. I think I've had a mentor. I have had 2 mentors in the past for different businesses. And this is probably the most information that I've been given. So outside of the information though, just the course itself is made for you to be successful.
That's really what I want. I want people to make money and also help people, with affordable housing, because it is a crisis.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where my market research brought me to where I'm at now in Baltimore. And I didn't even realize, like, in my own back door, there's a crisis. So why can't I get my hands in there and try to help? And so I think it's definitely a part of someone's journey in the business world is to always, always, always get a mentor. don't do it on your own, because I think a lot of people think they can do it on their own and they mess up a lot of things that they could have gotten right if someone were just say,
Right.
no, you want to go down there, but before you do that,
Right.
you do this.
Exactly. So in the course, I tell all my coaching clients to focus on or plan for getting 2 residents per month. So you have this house and you fill 2 beds per month. Now you were just talking about getting 3 leases signed in one day. So I'm curious, how is the filling of the beds? How's that going?
So it actually comes and goes. Like I would say the best advice that I could give is to have a very good intake process. The intake process, be strict about it. Don't waver from it for any reason, even if it's like, the saddest story that you ever heard and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to help you right now. You have to stick to your intake process. And because of that, just that intake process will wean out the people that may not be the best fit. But honestly, people are betting on the beds before I'm even able to like rearrange anything. Like they're like, okay, can I move in tomorrow?
Right.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Right.
Like they are definitely, it's easy to fill up the bed. So right now, my house can hold anywhere between 8 to 12 people. Mm-hmm. The way that the house was set up, I did have to make adjustments to it, but I can tell you that people are calling me all day, every day, like, hey, I have somebody, can they come see the house? Hey, can I? And I'm getting to the point where I don't have enough time, where
right,
enough time of the day. So I actually just recently, this past last week, somebody asked me like, hey, are you getting a second home? I'm like,
that same thing happened to me. I was so focused on my first house was a 15 bed. It was crazy. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Don't start like that. But yours is huge too. Mm-hmm. But 15 bed house, and people were like, when are you going to open the second location? And I had just opened.
I was like, I still have like 3 more beds to fill.
Mm-hmm.
4 more beds.
Right.
Like, can I get my bearings together real quick? So They are definitely, and the reason for that is because I'm running into a different dynamic of people. You might have women and children, you might have, younger people who don't necessarily have a job. It's just different dynamics. And I'm looking for a very particular person to go into the house to fit with the other people who are there. So another home may make sense in the very near future.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So by my calculation, since you just opened last month, you should have 2 beds filled. How many beds do you have filled right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow. Okay, you have 5 beds filled already, and you're in month 1.
Yes. So I have 5, and then I have 1 person come in before the end of the month.
Wow. So 6 filled. That's amazing.
I know.
That is amazing. Thank you. So I told you up front that I wanted to do an interview with you a couple months from now when all the beds are filled, because I was focused on 2 beds per month. So I do want to circle back and do another interview with you. But right now, I really just wanted to bring you on camera because you are like my success story. You are my success story. And people don't believe that you can actually do it. And so I wanted to show this is not AI. She's real. She actually opened a home using Group Home on Autopilot, and she followed all the steps. She used all the templates and the workbook, and she's a walking testimonial. She has her house filled, and she's helping people with affordable housing. Yeah. So thank you, Kenya.
You're welcome. No problem. I will say this. It is one of those things where you just jump in and go do it, right? Like if you feel like you need to have all the information, you're never going to have enough information. And I'm sure you could say this too on your side of being an experienced person in this particular industry, that you're going to always be learning. You're going to always be adjusting what you're doing to be able to, fill the houses, or maybe, the people don't need this rule, or maybe there's always going to be something that you're going to learn. So have all the information. It's never going to happen. You just have to just jump in there. Like, as soon as you have the idea in your head and you're committed,
Just do it.
just do it. Wait, you're gonna bypass maybe the opportunity to get a 7-bedroom house your first go around.
Right, exactly. It's a unicorn. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to end us with?
No, just thank you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you picking up the phone when I call you randomly.
Look at this house. What do you think of that house? I'm going to go with the first one.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was fun. Every minute of it. I love working with you because you are, what'd you say, fast burner? You are high speed. It was like, here's your checklist. You're like, blew through it and then on to the next. And let's jump here and let's jump there because I want to think about this part. And I do have one more question for you.
Yeah.
So you were talking about with the marketing stuff, how you send out emails and things like that. Is that something you came up with on your own, or do you get like a framework from the coaching program?
So I did get a framework from the coaching program. I took that and I just revamped it that differently so that it can adjust to my business style. I just sent them out and I came up with topics just by reading the script that you provided. It's like, okay, I could do a topic on this. I can do a topic on that. I can do a topic on this. And it worked.
Awesome. And I want to know how much time it's kind of an unfair question right now because you just started, but how much time do you spend on your business per week? And do you foresee reducing the amount of time, or like, what do you think?
So I did hire a house manager, which a lot of stress off of me in the fact of feeling like I needed to be there every day. I really didn't need to be there every day. But when you're just so attached to it, it's like, this is my baby. So you want to be there constantly to know what's going on with your residents. But honestly, now I'm spending 15 hours or less. But I do foresee myself spending less and less and less time on it. I can see myself going anywhere between maybe 5 to 6 hours a week.
Okay.
On it in the next couple weeks, probably mid-September. It's just getting the initial beds filled and then also continuously having those relationships and those connections. And then, of course, we have a lot of resources and fairs and back to school nights and things like that I'm putting myself out there to be a vendor at. So that will start calming down as the kids go back to school and it starts to get a little colder outside. But I cannot foresee myself working more than 6 hours.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be on the heavier end by mid-September. So then, yeah.
How did you find yourself a house manager? Is this somebody that lives inside the house?
So there's an organization that deals with people who were affected by the judicial system. Anybody who's maybe been to the penitentiary, has been in jail, they have programs. So a lot of them, which most people know as halfway houses. So they'll come out of prison, they'll put them in a halfway house for 6 months, sometimes a little bit longer. Then after they get out of that program, then they can go out into society and kind of find their own place. I had an individual who was in that program who shows assertiveness, but he's also understanding. He can listen to other people. I just so happened to reach out to one of those programs through the lead generation list that I got from Fiverr. And they were like, hey, I heard you're having an open house. We're going to be there. So when they came, one of the social workers, I was walking around and I was like, hey, so you like this area right here? He's like, yeah, this is nice. I said, okay, this is for my house supervisor. Do you know of anybody that I can potentially hire for a house supervisor? And he's like looking around. He's like, okay, this is kind of a big house. He's like, you need somebody who can, communicates well, listens to others, but also can assert the rules. And I said, yeah. And he's like, I think I have someone for you. So that's how that happened. We met. He was actually a previous house manager for someone else. And he's like, yeah, I didn't like that I was communicating what was going on in the home, but the person was not communicating with me back. I said, oh, you don't have to worry about that with me. Yeah, that's how that happened.
Awesome.
I think it was a blessing just to be in the right place at the right time, but also having the right connection.
Right. Awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And like I said, you were definitely my success story. And I'm going to be sharing this on YouTube and everywhere in the world so people can see it actually works. I do have somebody that is giving me a testimonial. So thank you for your time, Katie, today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.